right, I'm completing the trifecta of, we did a Frankenstein movie, we did a Dracula movie, and here you go with a mummy movie. This is the worst one. I don't know. I saw like letterbox, people I follow, and they're giving it like 3 stars, or I guess you could say it's mid, but this was awful. So, because it's bad, I'm just immediately going to spoilers. So, there's this couple, they live in Egypt, and they have 2 kids, a third one on the way, and, they're a white couple, so, they don't know, Arabic or anything. And so the guy is like a news dude, he travel. He's like, have you seen the things? Or yeah, it's the guy from it's the boyfriend from Midsummer. Why do I look like I look extra yellow? Hello, hi. So anyway, so yeah, they have 2 kids, third on the way. And, the little kids are being little shits because they're kids and all that stuff. And so it's a son and a daughter. And the daughter goes out into, the backyard or something. And she's like, I'm playing because she's a kid. And some random woman from, the other side of a fence is like, hello, I'm so-and-so's mother. And the little girl's like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, chocolate bar, chocolate, and the little girl's like, all right. I'll take, and mind you, of course the movie's gonna, let you know, oh, well, she was in, the Egyptian Girl Scouts, and so she knows Morse code. That will come in later, definitely. And her and her little brother were, arguing, because they're little shits, anyway. So, they're like, where did our little, where did our little girl go, blah, 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 and, what was it, before that, it was the pet bird in the house. The pet bird in the house, dies. And it doesn't just, die at the cage. It just kind of, it's, there, and it's just, really weird. And, oh, wait, no. Let me dial that back, because this movie's not making sense. Sorry. It's some random person. Yeah, in the beginning. It's this other family. It's actual Egyptian family. They're like, oh, we're having blah, blah, blah. And the woman who's, upset about everyone having fun in the car in the beginning of the movie, I think she's the woman, I think she's known as, the magician or something. Why are you giving her that name? She's the one who's like, would you like a chocolate bar? Later on. Anyway, so that house, sorry, the Egyptian family is the one who finds a dead bird in the house. And then, for no reason, dead bird in the house. They're like, let's go to the basement of the house, okay? And then there's just the top of a pyramid, a black pyramid, and it's like, was this in the basement the whole time? Did we not know this was in our basement? Jesus. Okay, well, it's good to know that was in our basement this whole time. Is our home cursed? How are we suddenly learning about that now? Why we have a dead bird? Huh? Anyway, so then it goes into the white family in Egypt, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so, girl, chocolate bar, all that stuff. So, the little girl goes missing, right? And the dad was running, and of course it's a sandstorm, Darude sandstorm is happening, and he's running, trying to catch up, but of course it's a goddamn sandstorm. And also he's open mouth, eyes wide, screaming, for his daughter. Sandstorm. While everyone else is all right, closing up shop, He's like, all that stuff. Anyway, then it's 8 years later. They're back in the States, and they live with the wife's mother, who is super religious. Of course, is that going to come in later? So they have their third kid, because it's 8 years. So their third kid is about 8 years old now, and no one brings up that there was another child, and so everything seems kind of hunky dory and stuff. And then what was it oh yeah, the family got contacted and said, we found your daughter. And they're like, oh yay, right? They found her daughter. And then she comes in and she's like, the mummy is the daughter. She's just kind of all wrapped up in shit. And she's kind of fucking catatonic and all that shit. And she's like, all that stuff. And then I love how the parents like look at her, they go, "Our baby's back." No further medical help. We're not gonna give this kid a CAT scan. We're not gonna like put it through an EKG machine. We're not gonna do like the overt like thing that every celebrity does, is like the full body scan to find lesions in their brain. Like, no, we're not gonna like really check on her. They're like, well, she's alive. We're gonna bring her home. Like, that was where like the movie already, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. Like, again, the whole like, did you know our home was built on top of this black pyramid? Oh, wow, you know. And then it's like, then the lady's like, oh, chocolate bar, you know. And then it's like, again, the daughter's back. And she's like, and they're like, our baby, you know, fully disabled in a wheelchair. And they're like trying to like do her hair. And she's like, like, that's the thing that kills me with these movies, is like, put the kid in a hospital and have it like under like, you know, watch and all that stuff. Besides it just being like all that stuff, just like, how do you know it's okay? Like, the fact that she's like obviously nonverbal, and you know, and she's like, you know, like maybe pump some fluids in her. Like she I don't even remember if they like try to feed her. You know what I mean? Like, give a feeding tube, some IV, a shower, for fuck's sake. You know, like they were just like, no, we're gonna feed this babe. She's like in the wheelchair, like, like, so stupid. Oh my god. And this dude did the freaking Evil Dead Rises or whatever movie, and I really like that movie. What the fuck is this, bro? I did read that like it wasn't like his movie, and I guess you would say he was just told like, oh, you should direct this. It's like, hey, you did a great movie. Let's give you some shit. We gotta knock you down a couple pegs. You know, you can't have too many good things happening to you. You know. And so, yeah, so every so often, you know, well, okay, one, the little daughter is like, what? You didn't tell me I had a big sister. You didn't tell me there were blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, kid, I really don't care. I don't care. Like, the siblings, just, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, you know? Anyway, so the girl, like, every so often, she'll just be like, bah, and then, like, she'll just, like, leap out of the seat and just be like, and just start, you know, like, she would just, like, you know, move, you know, in creepiness move. Like, there was, like, a scorpion, like, crawling up, like, the attic or whatever shit, and she grabbed it, she's like, you know. They're like, honey, are you okay? Like, they are literally doing all those fucking, like, tropes. They're like, honey, are you okay? And she's there, like, you know, the pet cat, you know, that kind of shit. Loud potato chip bag, you know, like, they're like, oh my god, is my baby okay? No, your baby's not okay. Your baby was trapped in a fucking sarcophagus or whatever shit for 8 years, and they just found her. I forgot how, or did they even mention? No fucking knows. Again, these movies, they go in my brain, and then the next day, because I literally watched it last night, like literally the last thing I watched before I went to bed, but now it is, what, like 12 hours later, and my brain went, bam, bam, phew, over there. Put that over there, you know? And so, because she was bound in all these things, right? And so, and like, in the wrappings, like, slowly but surely, they notice, like, there's, like, words and whatever stuff, and they have, what's her name, that was in, the show Rami and, Moon Knight. She's there as, like, the Arabic English translator woman, and she's translating all this stuff, and they're saying how, like, oh, she was a sacrifice because of yada huda fucking ha, as always. So I'm guessing the woman in the beginning of the movie was like sacrificing things and they weren't working, so she knew that the basement. Why did no one else go? Like, did no one else just go in the basement? Was it just kind of like a trust me bro kind of thing? Is this like the kind of, like, is this the cabin in the woods thing where, like, don't go in the basement, okay, and they didn't go in the basement? Like, you know, I don't know. So yeah, you're supposed to sacrifice someone young for whatever, the usual stuff. You sacrifice a young brother, who fucking cares? It's the same shit over and over again. And so yeah, they're like, they, you know, trapped her for whatever reason, you know, same shit all the time. And so, you know, I guess it was like inscription to whatever, fucking, you know, Evil Dead, whatever stuff. And then they're apparently, like, at one point, was it they meet up with someone and they had like a VHS tape that had the little girl's name on it, and then and somehow this family still has a VCR. I mean, I do, but I also like pointing out like my media that I own. Yeah. Anyway, so they pop in the VHS tape and they're like, "Oh, the ritual! We're watching the ritual happen." And then of course, like during like in the ritual, they say some freaking word, some freaking like Klaatu Barata Niktu shit. You know what I mean? Like again, Evil Dead. Again, do we see a similarity to the what the dude did previously? And so like and they're like, oh, watching it, okay. And they're like, oh my god, we're gonna have to, like, get her out. Like, she's still possessed by the thing. What is, I don't, again, it's not in my brain. It's not in my brain anymore. Whatever the thing is, but she's possessed by the whatever spirit of the who the fucking cares, as always. Thing when I said the little girl was in Girl Scouts and Morse code and stuff. Well, the entire time she's all possessed and shit, but she's like tapping because she's tapping stuff like like her dad name or like I love you dad, whatever. Like it was just kind of like there's the clue, and this kind of reminds me of like a really shitty version of like the little possessed boy in Bring Her Back. Like how like they just thought he was just like, just fucked up and possessed. But well, yes, he was possessed. But obviously, turns out, spoiler alert, that what's her name, made him all fucked up. But when like the demon went away, he was just like, huh? Like he's just a missing kid. He's like, oh what? And it's like my name is Steve. What's happening? Like it was trying to go for something like that, but there was no like great payoff. There was no like, oh my god. It was just like. I think it was like as time went on, like her wrappings kept getting more unwrapped, and it was like I guess causing her to be more like it's not a good movie where like again I watched it. I wasn't like I watched the movie. It was in front of me and I watched it, but as the pretty much like the credits hit, I was just like. It's like I got freaking, Men in Black. I was like, huh? Where am I? Oh, okay, So then, yeah, they were like, oh, something about like removing the spell or some shit like that. But I think then like the dad was like, I'm gonna replace. Like I'm gonna take her place because there's always like that kind of thing of like the father sacrifices for his love of his child. That was funny. It was a dad and not the mom. Usually it's the mom, but I guess because the dad is the main character and all that stuff, and he was the one running to go find her. Whatever. So I think the switcheroo ended up happening because they go to like the basement, and the dad is like inside the fucking thing, and you just hear him like. Being like, love you, kisses, tappa, tappa, tappa. So stupid. What else happened in this fucking movie? Hold on. Like, did I write any notes down? Like, I don't think so. I don't think I have anything else written about it. It was just not, it was not it. It's not it. Obviously, it's not it. This was, like, the worst of the three, because at least with like The Bride, you had Jessie Buckley, who's amazing. You have Christian Bale, who's also amazing, but they were both given really not good material to work with, so it was just like all right, and then Dracula, it was like the sets and the costumes were great, the actors were there, so you're like, oh, all right. I think I gave that a little bit like a half star more, mainly because of the sets and costumes, because bitch, this one I think I gave it like a 1.5 star because like I'm just watching it the entire time being like. Also, apparently there's another movie that came out this year also called The Mummy, and I clicked on the wrong one. I didn't know this was supposed to be was it Lee Cronin's Mummy? Because I just know, like, I had people were talking about, oh, there's a Mummy movie out, so I just typed in, like, The Mummy 2026, and I'm like, okay. And I literally watched, like, 10 minutes into this movie, and I was like, why does this feel like the 2010 movies that I used to, like, review, like, I used to rent my DVD from Netflix and, like, do reviews over, it's, like, shot on video, sepia tone shit, and I was like, why is this, like, I'm like, why are like other people I follow like talking about this, like, but they're not, but they weren't talking about it in the sense of like, this is so bad, like, don't watch it, but they were talking about like, this is a known thing, like, and then I literally was like, I was on Letterbox or something, and I like typed in The Mummy 2026. I got the movie I was watching 10 minutes in. I scroll down, probably because then it does like the Mummy, like the Brendan Fraser, and then the Universal and people's like, lists or whatever. And then I see the Lee Cronin's one. I click on that one because I click on that one, and then I see people I follow like reviews, bloop 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 bloop, and I'm like, oh, I think this is the one I'm supposed to watch. And then I click on the director because I didn't recognize the name initially, and I see, oh, he did Evil Dead. Okay, that's why people are talking about. Oh, he did. Okay, the other one, I don't know who did it. Apparently, it did come out this year. I watched 10 minutes into it, and funny enough, the 10 minutes I did see in it, it also involved a dead bird. I think this wasn't in Egypt though. They were like I think in Mexico, and it also involved like a dad with some kids, and then there's a dead bird, and I was like kind of like, this is like, I just felt like I was like, this seems like again like a movie I choose on like Tubi. Boom, I'm streaming or watching a dumb shit. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I was like, what? Something just told me like, wait, hold on. I think I clicked on the wrong movie. Again, you can't really say it's my fault because I guess that's why they had to put like Lee Cronin's The Mummy, because you got everyone putting out mummy movies, especially the Brendan Fraser thing's coming back. So, but anyway, that yeah, like I'm thinking like, is that like the Asylum's version? Like we're doing that. Is the Asylum still around? I mean, the Sci-Fi Channel died, so what am I even talking about? Anyway, I'm not talking. Freaking yeah, that was the Lee Cronin's The Mummy of what? Huh?